This weekend project, I'm going to go down to Walmart. I'm going to pick up a storage bin. I'm going to start with some free pallet boards that I picked up from a construction site. The way to remove these boards is super simple. I'm going to cut down the sides first. That way it doesn't break up the boards by trying to remove all the nails. Once I get both sides cut, I'm going to wiggle it around to loosen it from the center support. Using a crowbar, or what we call a wonder bar, I'm going to go up and down and remove these boards. Once I do that, I can turn them upside down to remove the nails. Pop them on one side, use the claw on the claw hammer, and take them out on the other side. Once I do that, I'm going to measure the width of the storage bin, the height, and then I'm also going to measure the depth. Once I get that, I'm going to start with the sides. I'm going to measure this 1x3 at 32 inches, and I'm going to give it a cut. I'm actually going to need 2 of these for one side and 2 for the other. Once I get these cut, then I can go ahead and start cutting the pallet boards. This is going to be 15 inches for the depth, and I'm going to cut multiple pieces of this. I like the bare look of the pallet boards, also the rustic look. Once I get all these cut to 15 inches, I'm going to separate them all the way up and down on the support boards. Remember, I'm doing one side at a time, and then I'm going to space the boards and make them look even. Using my nail gun, I'm going to go up and down and put a couple of brad nails in. Now the sides I'm going to hold together and put a few boards in the back. I put the sides next to the storage bin so I got the perfect width. Once I get these brad nailed in, then it's time to work on the top. These are going to be the larger, wider boards. I only need 3 of them. Once I get those brad nailed on both sides and secured, I'm then going to have to put the middle and the end boards in. This will help me space them out correctly. Again, using that brad nail, I love it. I can secure all the sides while it's spaced out, and it's actually getting really strong as I'm putting it together. Again, this is just separated around. Now I need a bottom board also, and that's going to make it even stronger. I also need a shelf that I'm going to build in order to put the storage in. I took the drawers out, slid it in, make sure it fits just right, and put the drawers back in. They actually slide really nice. Now I'm going to put some trim pieces on the side to cover up some of the edges, and then I'm going to give it one more test to make sure those drawers close good. Once I get that done, it's time to bring it inside, and look at it. All decorated. It's the perfect height to fit under the window. I love it. It stores our blankets in the living room, little decor on top, and I love the rustic look of it. I got the nail holes to show and some of the stamps that come on the side of the pallets. It actually turned out really great, and I hope it inspired you to go ahead and grab that storage bin from Walmart and make it your own and build a nice frame for it. Thank you for watching Home Talk, and we'll catch you next time.
Grab some cork placemats. I want to paint the back sides of the placemats white. I'm going to be decoupaging over this side, so I need a nice, clean and bright surface for under the napkins. Now that the paint is dry, it's time to start working with the napkins. With the napkin layers apart, so I'm going to give each napkin a little bit of a softer look. I can use a fine paintbrush and water to do this. Now that my napkins are ready, it's time to start attaching them to the cork placemat. I'm using a transfer and decoupage gel. Now that the decoupage medium is dry, I can start to remove the excess pieces of napkins. The final thing I need to do is brush a layer of the decoupage medium over the entire surface.
Grab one of these 3-drawer bins from Walmart. I picked up some half-round pieces of wood, and I need to cut them down to roughly 4.5 inches each. Now it's time to attach them to the drawers. So I'm just gonna put a dab of glue on each piece of wood and put them all the way across the drawer. Now that everything's dry, I'm gonna take this outside and add a coat of spray paint.
Grab some collapsible storage cubes from Walmart and some paint stir sticks. Measure the width of your storage cube. Using a utility knife, score the measurement line. Make these cuts on all of your paint sticks. Sand the cut ends of the sticks so there are no rough edges. Wipe some wood stain on the top and sides of each paint stick. Let them dry completely. Lay the paint sticks on the side of an open storage cube. Start to glue each stir stick to the storage cube panel with a hot glue gun. Next time you are at Walmart, grab a large plastic bowl or pasta bowl and a cereal bowl. Flip the large bowl over and apply a ring of clear adhesive glue around the perimeter of the bowl bottom to secure the 2 bowls together. Take some decorative rope and hot glue it around the center where the 2 bowls meet. Fill this bowl with water and add some floating candles. Time to break out of jail. That is, the Walmart ball jail. You also need some green reindeer moss. Start by spray painting the Walmart ball with moss green spray paint. Separate the large pieces and stretch out any chunks that are thick. With a can of General Spray adhesive, spritz a small portion of the ball with the adhesive. Take a small patch of green moss and press it onto the ball in the sticky area. Press and hold for a few seconds to make sure it sticks. Continue to spray the ball and attach the green moss to the outside. Once you cover the entire ball with spray adhesive and moss, give the entire moss-covered ball an overall coat of the spray adhesive.
Head on over to your local Walmart and grab their $7 mirror. Place the mirror directly in the center of the table just as you would a regular table runner. Clean off the mirror with some glass cleaner to remove any fingerprints or smudges. Then start styling your table.
You want to pick up 2 bowls. Make sure they are ceramic or glass and that they are heat proof. I took them home and I'm going to give them a coat of spray paint. Once the paint is dry, these bowls have a really nice textured look. I'm just going to use some really strong glue to adhere them together. In the top bowl, I am going to add 3 wicks. I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue to secure them to the bottom. Then I'm going to grab 2 wooden skewers and wrap the wick around the skewers. This is just going to hold everything in place. Great way to make your own candles is to reuse existing candle wax. I have a couple of these Dollar Tree tall pillar candles and I'm going to place them in some boiling water. Now make sure you're wearing gloves. These can get really hot. And I'm just going to gently boil this until all the wax is melted. Pour the wax from all the candles into a metal container with a handle. I'm opting to add a little essential oil for some scent. And now we're just going to pour that melted wax. Then you're going to want to walk away for about 24 hours. When it is completely set, you can trim the wicks down and use your candle.
Take a fabric placemat and flip it over. Using the storage cube insert, trace around the insert on the placemat. Once traced, cut the fabric square from the placemat. With a hot glue gun, glue the placemat square to the side of the open storage cube. Take some favorite yarn and make a pom-pom with a pom-pom maker. Using a large needle or upholstery needle, thread one tail of the pom-pom and insert it through the upper center of the glued placemat through the storage cube, and knot the 2 tails together on the inside of the storage cube.
Let's run on down to Walmart and it's time to grab your favorite inexpensive bucket. We got to get those handles off. Next, we're going to take that bucket and flip it over. We need to set in 2 strips of wood that are going to fit right on the edge. Next, stick them on there. Make sure they fit. Then you can use some hot glue. Just flip it over and press it against the plastic. So do that to both pieces right on the edge and just hold it down till it sets. Next, flip the bucket over, and what you're going to do is grab just some small little screws. So just take your drill and put it right in. 2 or 3 in each strip of wood will be just right, and that's going to hold it in place. Now it's time to put on the wheels, and we're going to mark it 1 inch from each side of the wood. We're going to put 4 of these legs on and we're going to drill it. Now it's time to take that hot glue, put it right on the edge of the hole there and put the leg on. Look at this. They are excellent. Now it's time to go ahead and decorate the bucket. Just take again our favorite hot glue, put it right on the edge, just stick it right on there. Just go ahead and set it all the way around and we're going to go around the whole bucket. Once you get that on, it's time to take a little bit of your inexpensive fabric, cut about 12 inches wide. We're going to use that hot glue again, and we're going to fold over the edge. What we're going to do is fold it over the bucket. It's going to cover all that plastic. Get that glue right on that last bit of rope right there. We're going to take this all the way around the bucket. Today's project is going to require some clothespins and a small bucket. The clothespins are easy to take apart. All we have to do is use some hot glue. We're going to do that with multiple amounts all the way around. Now on the bottom, I'll grab some rope from Dollar Tree, put a little bit of hot glue, push it in place. Just keep going all the way around. Now it comes time for staying. Next, we need a wood or plastic hanger. I took a square, put it against the inside edge, and marked 90 degrees. We're actually going to cut on this line. Once we do that, turn your bucket over, and then we're going to hot glue our legs on. If we do 4 of these across from each other, it makes it nice and steady and stable. Put one of those last bits of rope that I have on there, bring it around to the front, and I'm going to tie a knot on it.
Let's create an anthropology dupe. So I'm gonna grab a couple different styles of this pretty paper and I'm gonna cut it into 4-inch squares. Now I'm gonna paint a thin coat of Mod Podge onto a white ceramic tile. Now I'm gonna press these two together, seal them in really good, get any bubbles out. Now I'm gonna come back and add a top coat of Mod Podge. I'm gonna repeat this with about 35 tiles. I cut a piece of plywood to size and I'm gonna paint the top using a white chalk paint. Now I'm gonna place a full-length mirror right in the middle. Now to attach the mirror to the wood, I'm using Gorilla Glue. Once I've got the mirror down, I'm adding this board and some weight, and I'm gonna let this set for 24 hours. Now I'm gonna dry fit the tiles into a pattern around the mirror. For the corners, where I have a little bit of a smaller space, I'm actually just gonna use a square of paper. So the first thing I'm doing is adding a little bit of water to the wood with a paintbrush. Now for the tiles, I'm using Gorilla Glue again, and then the two are pressed together. And I'm gonna let the whole thing set for 24 hours. Grab a plastic bin from Walmart for this project. I'm gonna start by drilling a few holes into the side of the bin. This is gonna be for handles down the road. Then I'm going to flip the bin over and I'm going to drill 4 holes, one in each corner of the plastic bin. I wanna dress this bin up, so I picked up some gray and white patterned fabric. And I've cut it down to size so that it is the right height of the bin. Now I'm gonna use some spray adhesive to adhere the fabric to the plastic. When I get to the corners, I am going to cut up the side, and then I can just fold these two pieces over each other, creating a really nice looking seam. To add the handles, I'm going to locate the hole that I drilled with my finger and then just poke through the fabric with a pair of scissors. Now I can thread the jute through and tie a knot on the inside to secure it in place. Now I'm going to add some feet to the bottom to raise this up off the ground and just make it look a little nicer.
Grab some hot glue and put a bead of glue along one side of your lampshade, and then add some twine or jute. And we're going to wrap that around the lampshade until we cover the entire thing. After you have all your tassels made, we are going to add these to the bottom of our lampshade. And I decided to hot glue these. You could use a needle and thread and tie them and sew them on the edge, but this worked out perfect. You are going to simply trim off the excess tails.